Hey, I thought I'd do a little quick overview on Bloody Spell. I have been eyeballing this game for a while. I heard that it had a lot of optimization issues and stuff. I definitely have had some random performance issues. I wanted to wait for more content as well. I've been playing this for about 3 hours today. Basically, I got paid from Curse a day early. So after I got all my bills and stuff done, I decided to buy this. The other option was God Eater 3, but I had a lot of people tell me to wait on that because A, it's a Namco game, it'll be on sale for $20 by April, and B, because they're still supposed to be improving that game with a lot of updates and things. So I went ahead and got this. I was not able to find barely any high-level gameplay or any overviews for this at all, so I took it upon myself to see what was possible. So they added a Bloody Palace, I think in the last week, actually. It's actually quite fun. It's very much like a regular Bloody Palace, but you do have some roguelike elements in terms of the gear that you get from the chests and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new game. Now, this game is getting compared to Dark Souls a lot, and I think the only thing it really has in common with Dark Souls is that the enemies are very relentless, and they put up a fight, and you know, if you mess up, you're going to die. But there's a lot of things that are vastly different compared to all the Souls-like games. You know me, I don't like Dark Souls at all. I don't like how slow and stuff it is. So I was kind of on the fence about getting this, but you can do some pretty cool stuff in this game. Even the enemies that don't stagger, you have a lot of control over, you know, the course of battle and things like that with your parries, your dodges. I actually just got Witch Time. So if you complete achievements, you actually get some persistent elements here. These are all stones that persist throughout runs, meaning if you beat the game or decide to rage quit, go back to the beginning, which can actually be a good thing sometimes. There's not very many checkpoints in this game at all. You get like a checkpoint at the beginning of the level, so and since it's random, you know, it's comprised of level chunks and things like that. Like pretty much every other roguelike game, it can be a real pain in the ass to get back, so it's nice that you do have this option here. So I'm going to go with a chance for health on hit. You can also decrease fall damage. Go ahead and increase dodge distance as well. So this is the other persistent element of the game. You have your passives here and your actives, which are basically just... you look at this video here, it's basically Nero's Devil Trigger, like down to a T. He just has like a hat on. It's like the only difference. But you can also sacrifice these at altars. The problem with that is that right now it's all in Chinese, so you can't tell exactly what it is you're sacrificing, and you get permanent power. I don't particularly understand how that element works, but all of these things persist throughout playthroughs. So I have like I have plus 30 health, I have some extra damage, more meter, I have like a super joy type thing, and these are some of the persistent elements as well. Like you can actually keep more equipment if you stack this, so that's pretty nice. Counterattack, and you have Witch Time, which I actually haven't seen work yet. I'm actually going to try to get that working while I run through the rest of this overview. And then this is basically just more meter gain. So for the actives, I have a basically a big AoE attack, Berserk, that gives you super armor, and then this will heal you. And then I have this meteor thing, which honestly it looks kind of dinky. So you actually use a different currency for learning your moves. It's kind of like Proud Souls from DMC4. As you use a weapon, you will get proficiency, and you can use that to increase your moveset. Now, I like the bow staff. The bow staff is actually really good in this game. I think Zhou Yu could learn a thing or two from the way this guy uses a bow staff. It has a lot of range. Also, the weapon switch attack, since this game does have weapon switch combos, it actually has a lot of range. It will also break guards as well, so I like to always use the bow staff when possible. Great Sword's actually pretty good too, since it breaks guards pretty easily. And then finally, you have an achievement system. This game has a pretty nice achievement system because it has like persistent elements here. Like here's some proficiency for your weapons, a couple of the amber needed to upgrade your passives, things like that. So you have a light attack, heavy attack, you have a dash, and then a guard. You can guard cancel. Sometimes you can jump cancel. It feels a little bit wonky. There's also a parry as well. If you double tap, you sprint. It's very much like Basara in that regard. I wish I had known that the first time I played this, because he runs pretty slow in his base run speed, but if you double tap it, he goes quite a bit faster. The English translation leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, if you're one of those people that wants like a Souls-like story where there's lots of lore to find and stuff, you're going to be disappointed in that regard, because it's like barely coherent English in some places, but the combat is actually what sets us apart from all those other games. Alright, so let's find some dudes to fight. Health chest right at the beginning is kind of unlucky. The platforming feels a bit off. You can't like air dash, you can't double jump or anything, so if you make a mistake you have to commit to it, and that can... It doesn't usually kill you, you know, at most... From my first full playthrough here, like, it basically just makes it so you have to repeat the platforming again, which does get kind of boring. See, like, stuff like that is really repetitive. I think they could cut back on the platforming a bit. I'm gonna give this another couple tries and then just reset, because then the video will be too long. I didn't get this level chunk on my first run, so I wasn't actually aware of it. Platforming just feels kind of hollow. There's not really a whole lot of cool movement to it. It's pretty much just jump, and you can't like really correct a mistake or anything. Fortunately, this guy is not badass enough to actually just jump up the ladders. Stuff like this, I feel, is kind of like a desperate attempt to have variety in the game. I don't particularly find it interesting. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and reset. Platforming is not the strongest point in this game, unfortunately, and that level chunk just gave me a bunch of it. But you get to see the persistent elements now. You get to see me actually keep those gems and stuff that I had. Alright, hopefully it gives me a better level this time. There don't seem to be that many level chunks. I saw pretty much every possible level chunk on the second level while I was trying to beat the second boss. But I'm sure that's something that will be improved in due time. Alright, got the bow staff, so that's a good start. So here's a little puzzle thing you can do to get some extra items. These are always optional, they're never required or anything, but it's usually worth it to do them because you'll get some pretty good items, especially at the beginning of the game where you're trying to kind of find some identity for your build. They did seriously give me the same level chunk again. I hope it actually changes up here. Yeah, it gave me the same thing again. It's kind of annoying. I'm trying to like actually show show the combat, it's not actually allowing me to because it keeps giving me this platforming. If it had like more movement or like more control over what you could do, I think it would be more fun, but you pretty much can only just jump in the air. You don't really get any cool options or anything, so it feels kind of forced. Give this... Actually, let me equip the no fall damage. That'll help. I'm gonna give this like 2 tries, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna go back. I'm getting kind of annoyed. It keeps giving me this instead of something with actual fighting. This is getting really obnoxious. It's good to show the negative parts of this game. It's just you can't like always get the same seed, and some of the level chunks are really obnoxious. There's a lot of all the platforming ones basically are really annoying and just kind of kill the pace of the game. It really does not want me to show the actual fighting. It keeps giving me that crap. Feels like kind of a desperate attempt to have more variety in the game when it would be better if it just did not have that at all. I'm down for like masochore platforming, but when the game itself is already quite difficult, I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. It's already hard enough to just finish the game as it is. I was lucky that I finished it on like my 2nd attempt with some just some basic action game experience, kind of learning the attacks and stuff like that, but I feel like the platforming is a little too heavy-handed. Alright, so there's the assault mechanic, or the assassination mechanic. There's never any forced stealth in this game, but due to how much the enemies can just destroy you in seconds, it's always good to take advantage of it if possible. The Unreal Engine disease for making his model tweak out. They are not like Metal Gear European Extreme Guards, so you can actually assassinate them pretty easily. Still have not gotten the witch time to work. The window must be really tight. You know, that wasn't bad. That platforming where you had to constantly repeat your mistakes gets a little old after a while. Ah, there we go. There's the witch time. That's pretty cool. You can switch weapons at any time. It's actually very similar to the way that Dynasty Warriors 7 and 8 function, where you have like a canned attack that you do. It's like if I switch to martial arts, which is what you have by default if you don't have a weapon equipped. And he does that. Likewise, there's switch attacks in the air as well. So if I go from the martial arts moveset to this, then he does like a Helmbreaker type thing, and then likewise the same, vice versa. So apparently there's 2 bosses for each area, so I've fought half of the bosses so far. I'm obviously not going to be finishing this run. It's just an overview, but there is some extra variety there if you so desire. I think the length of this game might be an issue. I think they said that they want like 8 areas. Like right now, with the complete lack of like forgiving checkpoints, you can get stuck on the same level for a really long time. So hopefully as they add more areas, they'll actually put more thought to, you know, making the game not a complete torture to play once it gets longer. Right now, you can finish the game in like anywhere from probably 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how many times you die and how much you progress the character and things like that. So it's not too bad, but I am a little bit concerned that as they add more content, the game might kind of get a little bit of feature bloat where a single run is too long for being a roguelike. So I think I'm going to back out here, since this isn't a particularly interesting scene, and I'll show the Bloody Palace. Keep the video length a little bit shorter. So on the Bloody Palace, you actually get access to all 3 current weapons right now. You actually can get a halberd, and it's called like Lou BV's halberd, so it's obviously supposed to be like the Sky Piercer or something. But these are the only weapons that have actual movesets and upgrades and things like that, so you can pick them all here. So I'm going to go with the bow staff, and then let me check my progression here. Let's go ahead and try to get that final greatsword move. Ninja Gaiden type thing there, the little essence attacks or whatever. Essence type attacks, there's no like meter requirement for them. this attack is really obnoxious, and he keeps doing that. So you can see how even if the enemies, some of the larger weight class ones don't stagger, you actually do have a lot of control over them still. You can still knock them down and kind of continue a combo that way, even if they can't be launched. I do think that you're not going to see it in this video. I do feel that the humanoid bosses should have some kind of element where you actually can juggle them, because there are a lot of attacks that do propel you into the air. However, there's like no real way to do anything off it. You can't like dodge, cancel, or block in the air or anything. So those moves are basically useless from what I've seen. I think that's something that needs to be addressed, considering how many moves actually do encourage air combos. So after a few floors, you'll get some chests here, and you can use those to kind of get some better gear. You can also make like persistent progress here too, which is nice. So if you get tired of the seeds, it's actually a good thing that they added this, because playing through the base game can be a little bit repetitive sometimes. The game's still lacking on a lot of things, like just general roguelike elements, like having a lot of level chunks and gear and things like that. So it's nice that you can just kind of play this and still make progress, and then you can be ready for when the actual the next update comes out. Alright, so there's the last sword move. So I got an achievement for that. So that will allow me to carry or transfer or maintain 2 pieces of equipment next time I wipe. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and stop there. This video is quite a bit long, but I'll probably put up some footage of the first level later on if you guys are interested. The game is $20 on Steam. How much content it has for that price is kind of debatable. It is a roguelike, so it's not going to be the same thing every time. However, like I said, the variety for it to be considered a roguelite, actually it's not a roguelike, it's a roguelite, is a little bit lacking right now. There's not a lot of gear. The level chunks are very limited as well. You saw I got like the exact same level chunk twice in a row. So if you want a really deep, like Souls-like, roguelite, then you might want to wait a while. But thanks to the Bloody Palace, you can have some nice uninterrupted gimmick-free combat, and you can also use this to kind of give yourself some progress in grinding while you wait for new content as well. They seem to be updating pretty regularly. It seems like they update about every week or so. There's only like 5 people working on this game, so the fact that it exists at all is impressive. I think it's cool that they kind of took a tried and true formula of a Souls-like game and they kind of turned it on its head with both the roguelite elements and actually having fast and responsive combat and things like that. Anyway, I'll have more footage later this week, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.